understand what will happen if the values are not correct, or if my formula is starting showing error. How do we handle this? For example, we only have 12 values here. What if someone enters 15? We'll get a num error, because 15 students we don't have, we only have 12. So what can be done in this case to change this num into more readable thing? This thing can be done by using two things. One, you can validate the data inside the cell by using a data validation. Second, you can use if error. I'll start with if error. So I'll just mark it up somewhere. So big bold. So there is a formula known as if error. Now what does this formula do? It works like this. Says value and what if value error. So it checks the value, and if the value is giving us an error, it will do whatever we direct this function to. So we can start a new formula. We can write a text output. So instead of giving an error, this customized thing will come. So in our case, instead of having a num, if we have something like then please enter value between 1 and 12. So someone who is entering the data into that cell knows, okay, this is what is the trouble. So your Excel file is automatically helping someone who is utilizing this. So how do we use if error? I'll use if error in normal case. Here, if this is an error, this we'll be doing in one cell, but for the sake of understanding, let's say this cell has an error. Oh, instead of if error, I can only, if this is an error, whatever value that I'm looking is an error, then let's have an output. Let's have a text output saying please enter numbers between 1 to 12. And you can see that I am putting quotes in here. In programming language, we call this as string. So strings always come into quotes. Some programming like Python can accept single and double quote also. For Excel, we have to put in double quote. So whenever we are entering text using our keyboard, we need to put inside the quotes. When we are referring to a cell, we don't need it. We can straight away refer to the cell number. So as soon as the number error is here, you can see the output, please enter numbers between 1 and 12. As soon as this is correct, you see the answer is coming as 60. So if the answer is correct, you will get the right answer. But if the answer is not correct or the output is not correct, it's an error, you will get the customized value. Now we need to club both of them to do in one function. So let's go ahead and club them. Equal to if error, we'll start with if error. Now we need this value. Where will the value come from? Value will come from the function large array, let's say again math, comma, position will come from this cell and close the bracket. Now what is happening? You need to understand this because this is formula within a formula. Let me zoom it up a little for you. That's a kind of user defined function, and you would should create something like this only. Instead of having output in 2-3 places, you have to get the output at one place. So equal to if error. Now you can argue why we are starting with if error, because if error needs a value, and this value will be provided by the function large. So who will give me this value? This large. And why will the large get executed first? If you remember the PEMDA, the inner bracket gets solved first, then the outer bracket. So what is the inner bracket? This large has the inner bracket inside. So this will get solved first, and then the if error will get solved. So first large will get solved, then if error will come into picture. So we'll say large math position k will come from this cell and close the large, because large ka work is done. As soon as you finish the work of large, close the function. As soon as you close, you'll see we have gone back to if error. You look at the bottom here. Till the time the bracket is not closed, we are at large. You close this, we are at IFERROR, comma. As soon as you put a comma, see this is getting highlighted. So if the argument does not get highlighted after putting a comma, please do not enter that argument. You have done something wrong in the previous steps. That's one way of checking whether you are doing it correct or not. So if your argument is not getting highlighted, it is not IFERROR, it is any formula for that matter. You have put a comma and your thing is not getting highlighted. That effectively means you have not entered it correctly. Go back and check if you can find the error. Since in our case this is getting highlighted, we'll say value IFERROR mein same thing. Please enter numbers between 1 and I'll close the bracket. Hit enter. Now as soon as I write 15, 20, you'll get please enter number between 1 to 12. So IFERROR is a very good way to let people know what errors that they have made or what is that they're going wrong at. So instead of having a num error which is not readable, not understandable, you can have IFERROR which people can easily read and user can easily understand. If it says okay 1 to 12, let me put 12. Consider this as employee IDs. You have a small team of employees, only 12 people coming in. So there you can put it. Please enter numbers between 12. So if you put 13, it will not auto come.